So the plan today is to build a sub box for the Nova. I've got this diagram of plans, which is the recommended sub box size from the manufacturer's website. So first we're going to measure out all the shapes we need for the sub box, and then we're going to cut them out all at once.
What's the rule of thumb, Daniel?
Measure 3 times, cut twice.
Not much.
You said a little bit over, maybe a little too much.
You can just edit that out.
So we finally got the edges all to line up pretty much how we want. And now we're going to drill some pilot holes for the screws that we're going to be putting in to hold it all together. Then we're going to put some wood glue in between all the pieces and screw it all together. Afterwards, once we cut the hole for the sub, we can put the sealant on the inside and seal up all the edges.
Ah, this is my thumb, you asshole.
Well, I told you to move. You'll have no thumb.
I'll throw a wrench at you.
So now that we've built the wooden box for the sub, we need to drill the hole for the subwoofer to sit in the middle. And luckily our subwoofer came provided with this faceplate ring, which we're going to use as a template to make the hole that we're going to use to put the sub in. So we used a hole saw to cut out the smaller hole, and then used a jigsaw to cut it out to the size we needed for the sub. So now that we got the hole cut out for the sub, we're going to install the sub terminals. So now we're going to use some compressed air to clean out the inside. Then we're going to use sealant around all the inside edges to make sure it's a fully sealed box. For sealant, we're going to be using this all-purpose window and door trim sealant. It may not be the best thing to be using, but it's what we had laying around, so we're going to give it a shot. To get sealant on all the edges, you're probably going to end up having to put some sealant on your finger with some gloves on, and then rub it on the corners that you can't reach with the caulking gun. If you have any better ways to do it, let me know in the comments so that we can teach other people better ways to do it. Now, box done. Box done.
Now let sealant dry, and then you put sub in, and you go.
Alright guys, so we let the sub box dry overnight, and all the sealant is dry now. So we're going to go ahead and carpet the box. We stopped at Joann's and got some gray felt fabric that looks kind of like trunk carpet. So I've looked up a couple videos on how to carpet a sub box and read a couple ways, but none of them were really the same exact way. So instead, we're going to do this a combination of the methods and basically wrap it like we're wrapping a Christmas present. Now I am no expert on carpeting sub boxes. This will be my first one, but it'll be a good opportunity for you to see how carpeting your first sub box will turn out. So we're going to start with the bottom because that's where you want the seam for your carpet to be so that nobody sees it when it's in the car. And this tacky spray doesn't have any instructions on how to use it, so I'm going to use it like I saw other people using it. So now we're going to apply the tacky spray to the back section of the box and lay it down so that it's nice and flat and gets good contact with the box. And now we're just going to lay it down. Now this spray doesn't have a recommended bonding time or anything like that, so we're kind of flying blind as far as how long we leave it to dry or anything of that nature. But now that we got the back sorted, I'm going to do this part of the bottom, and we know that it shouldn't move around or anything like that because the back is already laid. Alright, well that tacky spray appears to tack pretty fast because it's already working. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just work our way around the box, doing the same thing, spraying and then folding the box over to get a good seal on it. Now ideally you would have like a big glass table or something to do this on top of so it's perfectly flat, but instead we just have these boards, which is actually working out pretty good right now. Now we're going to measure and cut our fourth side so that we can match up the seam on the bottom of the box. You're going to want to overlap this seam a little bit, just to make a cleaner look. Alright guys, that's our last side. All nice and closed up. The seam is pretty noticeable, but it's on the bottom, which was the idea, so we're alright with that. Alright guys, so that's how you seal up the side of the carpet on your box. Basically you're going to cut all 4 sides so that they're rectangular and not attached to each other. Then fold them inwards and try your best to cut them so that they match evenly across the face. The final side you put down should be the one that connects to the front of the box so that it looks like it folds over and doesn't have a seam on the side like this. So we let the box dry overnight and it's the next day. Now we've got to cut the hole for our sub to go into right here and another hole on the back for the leads. The plan here is just to take the razor blade and cut a bunch of pizza slices, then we're going to fold them inside and use the glue spray to hold them down. We're not going to cut all the way to the edge of the speaker hole because we want to fold them inside and have it still look carpeted around the edge. So now we're going to use the tack spray and spray it along the rim of the speaker hole, and the best we can spray it on the inside along the edge so that we can fold these in and hold them down. That honestly worked a lot better than I thought it was going to, so we're going to do the exact same thing on the back side for the small hole, where we're going to have the electrical leads coming in. So now our sub box is all done. We've got it fully carpeted and we're ready to screw in the electrical panel and the sub that you've chosen. So that's all for this time, guys. If you have questions about how to build your own sub box, go ahead and leave them for me in the comments. And if you have ideas for another video for me, I'd love to hear them. Leave me a like, guys. I'd really appreciate it. And until then, I'll see you next time on Full Tilt Drift.